What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. Rookie DH/outfielder for the Boston Red Sox, Masataka Yoshida. He made some MLB history yesterday. The Angels hit back-to-back home runs, 3 home runs in a row. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is showing that he still owns the New York Yankees, and the Pirates, are they the team to beat in the National League? Probably not, but they have won 7 games in a row. We're going to talk about all of that and more in today's MLB recap, so make sure you watch until the end. Remember, guys, if you're going to any baseball games, concerts, anything like that anytime soon, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off, and we post these recaps every single day, so stick around, join the team. We are so close to 450,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for support, and let's get into the recap. So because we didn't talk about Saturday's games, let's do a quick little fast cast with Fuzzy, the biggest moments from Saturday. Randy Arozarena had 4 RBIs and a walk-off in the same game. This guy just gets better and better. Fernando Tatis Jr. barreled up a home run, his first home run of the season. It's almost been 600 days since the last time that he left the yard. Adolis Garcia had 8 RBIs in a single game because he had a 3 home run game. His 28 RBIs are now leading Major League Baseball. James Outman had himself a monster day, but we'll talk about him after the Cubs and Dodgers highlights because I want to get into him versus Cody Bellinger. All right, let's talk about the Sunday games, shall we? So we have the Tigers and the Orioles. Detroit, they made some history in this one in the worst way possible. But first, let's talk about Grayson Rodriguez turning in his best start of his young career. 5 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts. That's always good, even though it was against an all-time bad Tigers lineup. Anyways, that gives him some confidence. You know who doesn't have confidence? Eduardo Rodriguez. He's confident in his own self and his own abilities, but that lineup stinks. He threw 7 shutout on 1 hit allowed. We'll get to the history in just a moment because we got to show the comeback. Anthony Santander, he doubled in Jorge Mateo in the 8th, and Adam Frazier scored on a wild pitch in the bottom of the 10th to walk it off. So Baltimore, they are now 7 games over 500. They're 14-7. The Tigers are 7-13, dead last in runs scored. History was made by the pitcher Erod Eduardo Rodriguez because if we combine his last 2 starts, he's gone 15 plus innings with 15 plus strikeouts. He's allowed less than 5 base runners, and he's only gotten 2 runs of support. He is one of 2 pitchers in the last 50 years to get that few of run support while putting up insane numbers on the pitching mound. They are the worst lineup in baseball yet again. We have the Phillies facing off against the Rockies. Trey Turner, he is starting to find his power stroke after using all of his power and magic in the WBC, but he's back in the home run column for a second time. Cody Clemens hit his first of the season, and the Rockies made it a close game, but they still struck out a ton against Zach Wheeler. Zach went 6 innings with 3 earned runs, so not his best day, but he was still incredibly nasty. 11 strikeouts in those same 6 innings. He's still very nasty. Same with Aaron Nola, but they haven't been the best to begin 2023. To me, my opinion is they'll get better and better as the season progresses. Anyways, Colorado, they could not stop the bleeding with Alec Boehm and Bryson Stott teaming up for 3 more runs in the 7th. 2 of them on 1 swing. Bryson's 2nd of the year. He has been raking all year long, and same with Brandon Marsh. He blasted off again. He's hitting .364 with 6 doubles, 4 triples, 4 home runs. The trade that got Brandon Marsh was when they gave Logan O'Hoppe back to the Angels. O'Hoppe was absolutely raking to begin 2023, but unfortunately, he has a torn labrum in his non-throwing shoulder, so he hurt it on a backswing. Unfortunately, he's going to be out for the next 4 to 6 months. I feel so bad for Logan O'Hoppe because he was on fire. He was in the consideration to be Rookie of the Year. I mean, he was going to win it if he kept it up. Houston's offense showed up way later in this one against the Braves, so now we have some time to talk about some pitching, and this was a super fun matchup. You had Javier on one side and Max Fried on the other. Max Fried lowered his ERA to 0.6 after nearly 7 more shutout innings. Christian Javier, he did allow 1 to score, but he struck out 10 over 6. He surrendered just 3 hits that entire start. The Braves, they took their 2-0 lead into the 8th when Yordan Alvarez, he did what he always does. He delivers in the clutch, this time on a 2-run single, so his 27 RBIs are second just behind Adolis Garcia's 28. The score is tied going into the 9th when rookie Corey Julks, this guy has been so good. He puts Houston out in front. He's hitting .327 with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs in his first 16 big league games. Bregman had 2 more RBIs. He's still very much struggling to find his power swing, but he has 17 walks to 12 strikeouts, and over his last 180 games, he has 104 walks to only 89 strikeouts. So that's the thing about guys like Juan Soto and Alex Bregman, because their plate discipline is so good, they can kind of avoid slumps. I'm putting that in air quotes because they get on base at an all-time clip. The Astros, they win 5-2. The Jays and the Yankees, Kevin Kevin Gausman saved his best stuff of the season for the final game of the series in New York, and he looked almost unhittable versus the Yankees. Clark Schmidt, he didn't look too bad either, but his defense let him down, allowed a free base runner, and Vladdy, he instantly took advantage. That is his 5th of the season, his 12th home run in 34 games at Yankee Stadium. Dalton Varsho, hopefully he's waking up. He was so good to begin the season, kind of fell off a little bit, but he made it back-to-back home runs in the 6th. You have Danny Jansen doubling in another, but like I mentioned, Gausman was so nasty, he didn't need all of the extra support, but he'll take it nonetheless. So Kevin Gausman went 7 shutout innings in New York with 11 strikeouts. He allowed just 3 base hits, didn't walk anyone. He has 41 strikeouts in 31 innings this year. The Jays win 5-1, and both teams are yet again tied. The Yankees are 13-9. The Jays are 13-9. Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh. The Pirates got a run early for Vince Velasquez, and Vince put the team on his back from there. Now that's really good because Hunter Green settled down after allowing that first run to score. He didn't allow a single run for the rest of his start. He had 6 strikeouts over 6, but Vince Velasquez was out of his mind yesterday. Like, a 7-inning shutout is always impressive, but he went 7 innings, did not allow a single run, whether it was earned or unearned. He struck out 10 on just 2 hits allowed. The best start of his 9-year career, in my opinion. Jack Sawinski, he stays deleting baseballs. He doubled in Carlos Santana, and I just want to show his baseball savant page real quick because not only does he smash baseballs, I did not know that he was top 20% in sprint speed and defense in the outfield. David Bednar, he is making a case as baseball's best closer. He strikes out 2 for his 8th save of the year. Pittsburgh has won 7 in a row. They're 16-7 as a team. They're 8th in team ERA and 7th in team OPS. I don't know if this is sustainable, but it's been a lot of fun to watch. So let me know in the comments, where do you think the Pirates end up at the end of the year? Are they a playoff team or not? You guys want to see one of the longest home runs of the year so far? That one almost went 450 feet. It came off the bat of Luke Raley of the Tampa Bay Rays. They were facing off against the White Sox. His stat line is hilarious because he's hitting 188, which is not good, but he has 4 home runs and a 112 OPS plus, which is still actually pretty good. Harold Ramirez, he will not stop breaking. He's hitting 373 on the season with 5 home runs and a 220 OPS plus. It still blows my mind that Cleveland once upon a time had both Yandy Diaz and Harold Ramirez, and we lost them for basically nothing. Zach Eflin was pretty good in his return, and because he was coming back from injury, he wasn't allowed to go more than 5 innings, but he was really good. 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts. Pete Fairbanks got a rare save opportunity. He went 1-2-3 in the 9th inning for his 3rd save. The Rays, they're 19-3 and still first in basically everything. Cleveland versus Miami. As a Guardians fan, I have to admit to you guys, this was one of the most exciting and promising wins of the entire 2023 season. So J-Ram, he went 425 feet on a 2-run home run. We are not surprised at all by that. We know that J-Ram rakes. But there's Josh Bell making it back-to-back home runs. Bell is hitting 360 with 5 RBIs over his last 7 games. And Logan T. Allen, not Logan Allen, the human batting practice that was Logan Allen formerly with the Guardians. This is a new Logan Allen, Logan T. Allen. He had an insane debut. This was his first ever start in the big leagues. I've been collecting his prospect cards for years because he was a strikeout machine his entire minor league career, and no different in his first ever MLB start. He threw 6 innings, allowed just 1 run on 1 walk with 8 strikeouts. This kid is disgusting, and he's not even a top 3 starting pitching talent for Cleveland. That farm system is ridiculously deep. Just an awesome game showcasing that the future is bright. J-Ram got his 4th RBI in the 8th, and Emmanuel Clase, even though he didn't strike out anyone, which is kind of concerning, his stuff has not been as good. He has 7 saves on the year. The Red Sox faced off against the Brewers, and we're gonna fast forward to the 8th because the Boston Red Sox scored a bunch, but most of it came in the later innings. Justin Turner has been very good this far, 2 home runs and a 390 on base percentage, and there's Yoshida's 2nd home run of the year as well. Connor Wong, he's been showing a little bit of life lately. He had a 2-run single, and Boston, they just kept on raking. They had hit after hit, base runner after base runner. Justin Turner took a bases loaded walk, so it stayed bases loaded for Masataka Yoshida, and he blasted off again. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and a single inning. He is the first Red Sox hitter since 2008 to have 2 home runs in a single inning. The last guy to do it, Big Papi. And Masataka became the 4th rookie ever to have 2 home runs in 1 inning, the first since 1962. The Padres and the Diamondbacks. Matt Carpenter turned into Yankees Carpenter for a few at-bats. He helped out Yu Darvish with that 2-run double in the 3rd and a home run later on in the 5th inning. Yu Darvish was vintage Yu Darvish, delivering nearly 6 innings with 5 strikeouts. He skated around 5 walks, so that's a little suspect. 5 walks is not good at all, but he only allowed 1 earned run because he was nasty. Cronenworth and Carpenter were the only San Diego hitters who were interested in scoring runs. They drove in all 7 on the day. Josh Hader collected his 8th save already of the year. He He has 1 earned run allowed in 11 innings. He has 16 strikeouts, so he is back to being prime Josh Hader. The Padres are 12-12 without Joe Musgrove. Machado and Soto have been kind of useless, or at least underwhelming to say the least. As a team, they're hitting .216, which is terrible. So yeah, getting Tatis back is huge because, in my opinion, Tatis is like when you get a math test and you can answer all of the easier questions first and then get back to the harder questions. There are no easy questions on this math test now that Tatis is back in the lineup. So as a pitcher that's constantly in the back of your mind, Tatis is a clear difference maker because in this 4-game series against the Diamondbacks, who came into the series in first place, yeah, they lose 3 of 4. And of course, what does that coincide with? Tatis coming back. We'll talk about the Dodgers and James Outman versus Cody Bellinger right after this. But real quick, let's talk about the Twins facing off against the Nationals. Jorge Polanco and Michael A. Taylor, they both went yard in the 4th, but my goodness, Michael Taylor, that was a nuke. That one almost went 445 feet, his 4th home run already of the season. Polanco gave Bailey Ober another run in the 5th, but it didn't really matter because Bailey Ober and the bullpen, they were lights out. Minnesota's bullpen was very, very good. 0 hits over the final 3 and 3rd inning. Johan Duran came in for the 9th. He has 5 saves on the year, so kind of a boring game, but still nonetheless a Minnesota win. Cody Bellinger stayed hot versus his former team on that RBI single in the 1st inning, but Dodgers shortstop Mookie Betts had himself his best game of 2023. He looks like a natural over there. Then he ties it on his 3rd home run of the year. Max Muncy has 11 home runs. Hello? He is number 1 in all of baseball. He reclaims the lead over Pete Alonso. 11 of his 18 base hits this year have been a home run. JD Martinez makes it back-to-back. He has 4 home runs and 15 RBIs. He's not going to hit 315 anymore, but JD Martinez is still very good. Kershaw, he allowed 3 on the day, but only 1 of those was earned. He's got a 2.3 ERA and 32 strikeouts in 5 starts. Now let's talk about Cody Bellinger versus James Outman because Bellinger is hitting 300 with 5 home runs, 15 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases while playing nearly platinum defense in center field already. So that is very good production. He is worth the $18 million. But James Outman over the weekend became the 7th player over the last 23 years to have a .330 batting average and 8 home runs in his first 26 games to begin his career. So let me know in the comments, do you think that this was a win-win deal, or do you think that Dodgers fans would rather have Cody Bellinger in center field and James Outman in the same outfield instead of Jason Hayward? I mean, you could have kept both. Moving on to the Rangers and the A's, Robbie Grossman was facing off against a lefty, so that 3-run home run, yeah, that was the most predictable thing ever because he hit 320 versus lefties just a year ago. DeGrom was back on the bump for the first time since leaving during a no-hitter due to a faulty wrist, but that wrist was no issue in this one. He was mowing A's hitters down left and right, and it didn't even look like an MLB game for a while because he was just, again, carving to the point where it looked like a big leaguer versus a little leaguer. But I do have to show this moonshot. I have to. Shea Langoliers absolutely destroyed that baseball. Now, DeGrom still had an insane day at the office, but I wanted to give A's fans something to smile about. DeGrom, he went 6 innings with 11 punch-outs. He didn't walk anyone. DeGrom is back in the lead for strikeouts in all of baseball. Now, one more shout-out real quick. Leody Taveras, he scored on a wild pitch. He got on base 3 times with 3 runs. If he gets it going and then the Rangers get Corey Seager back and the pitching holds up, my early season prediction of the Rangers not being a playoff team is going to look real stupid because they're 14-7, they're 2nd in scoring, and they're 5th in team ERA. Top 5 in offense, top 5 in pitching. Yeah, that's a playoff team. The Angels and the Royals, Reed Detmers was not his best self, but he was still pretty nasty. He had 6 strikeouts over 5 2/3 to keep the Halos in this one, but the Angels had a small little hole to dig out of, and yeah, that was a really small hole. So Taylor Ward, he ties it on his 3rd home run of the year. He quietly has 26 home runs over his last 157 games. Mike Trout made it back-to-back home runs. He has 45 home runs over his last 139. And there it is, 3 home runs in a row after Ohtani belted his 5th of the year. The rest of the Angels lineup had 1 hit combined. That was the rookie Zach Neto. And not gonna lie to you guys, I was kind of scared for Angels fans. I thought their bullpen was gonna implode yet again, but Matt Moore and Carlos Estevez, they held it down. They have both been super impressive on the season. Kind of crazy to say this sentence out loud, not trying to hate, but let me just say this out loud. The Angels went back-to-back-to-back, so 3 home runs in a row. Reed Detmers had 6 strikeouts, only 1 walk, and the Angels beat the Kansas City Royals 4-3. I thought they would have blown them out. Hopefully fans were in their seats for the first pitch of this game because the scoring got started in a hurry. Lars Nootbaar sent one out on the first pitch of the game. He has 16 home runs and a 132 OPS over his last 116 games. That is really good. Look at Jared Kelenic go, man. He's hitting .320 with 6 doubles, 6 home runs, 3 stolen bases. He's top 23% in outs above average and arm strength. So yeah, the 5-tool Jared Kelenic that we were all promised, he's finally showing up. That's about all the good news I have left for Mariners fans, because Tyler O'Neill tied it up, and Nolan Gorman 6 home runs and 22 RBIs while hitting .313, and he doesn't chase at bad pitches either. Flaherty, he is still very much finding his groove. He struck out 9 Mariners over 6, and isn't this a sight for sore eyes? Paul DeJong, he just won't go away. He's either going to be a top 5 shortstop or he's going to be the worst player in baseball. There's no middle ground. The Cardinals win 7-3 as the Mariners fall to 10-12, but some good news, Colton Wong had 3 base hits. That's cool. Jock Peterson was back from the IL and he grabbed an RBI in the very first inning against the Mets. Thairo Estrada, he hit one almost 420 feet in the second, which was huge because the Mets, they got right back into this one with a big-time 4th inning. They were helped out by former Met Michael Conforto because he dropped an easy fly ball in right field. Now, San Francisco, they fought back in the very next frame to steal the lead back, but as you can see, the rookie Francisco Alvarez, he tied it up on a ball that was basically in the stratosphere. I have no idea how, 1, he hit that out, and 2, pulled it for a home run. So the score is 4-4 going into the 8th inning. When Mike Yastrzemski hit a go-ahead RBI double to seal New York's fate. Doval was incredibly nasty. Camilo, he had 2 strikeouts for a 2nd save of the year. Honestly, that wasn't the worst loss in the world if you're a Mets fan, because the bullpen was sick all series long. They didn't use David Robertson or Adam Ottavino once, and they only allowed 1 run as a bullpen. That's really good. Do not go anywhere. We're going to show the rest of the web gems in just a second, but that does it for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's MLB recap. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. Be safe out there, and enjoy the web gems.
A pop fly down the left field line might be trouble. Long way to go for Kemp. Dives and makes a great play to save a run. No runs, hit a man left. We're through 5 complete.
That's hit to left. Castro back to the wall and leaps and makes the catch on the warning track.
And a liner caught by Machado. That was behind him, and Machado says no.
Witt with a fly ball to right center field. Long run, Renfroe and Trout. It's Trout making the running catch. Now a chance for a double play. Throw to first. It is in time.
Payoff pitch, swung on and lifted to center field, sending Dante Williams back. This ball is, oh, what a catch by the center fielder.